Over the years, folks like Gary Harman were called handicapped, crippled, or even victims. But if you've met Gary, you'd likely see him as inspiring, uplifting, and motivating.
Going My Way with Alan Williams. Brought to you by the Lawson Family Foundation, planting positive seeds for the future.
I need people with disabilities to understand that they're people first and they're beautiful creations of God, and they need to get out in the world and do whatever it is they want to do.
Gary Harman is on a mission. His passion is to change the world's perspective of physical and intellectual differences, starting with his own story. So, what are your disabilities?
When my mother was pregnant, she experienced something called amniotic band syndrome. The amniotic sac is made of two layers, an interior and an exterior layer. And with amniotic band syndrome, the interior layer shreds. And my mother used to laugh that I never could leave anything alone. So when it's shredded, I'm doing this and it gets wrapped around my arms and my legs, and it prohibited growth. So you can see where my other three fingers are supposed to be, but I never grew them. And this is what the hand sits on the wrist.
Gary has no feet and uses prosthetics. But don't ever tell Gary he has limitations.
I did have a guy in the store one day ask me how I took my watch off. And I laughed and I said, well, I have to think about it a lot. It's pretty hard. And they're like, wow. And I said, can you put it back on? No, will you help me? Of course I can. And you know, I do those kind of things so they'll understand it's really not much of a question, is it? I drive only with the left hand, really. If I'm going a straight distance, I'll hold on to both.
And there's no special equipment on his car either. Gary uses his disabilities in YouTube podcasts in subjects ranging from accessibility issues to family pets. I met Gary some years ago when he was a teacher and president of the Teachers Union here. He was passionate then, now even more so. Like Spark, a Knoxville organization helping and encouraging men, women, and children with disabilities to live more productive lives. And Gary knows Santa pretty well too.
I love seeing good parents with children with disabilities, and I see it a lot. It makes my heart happy. I had to get old before I understood gratitude. When you're younger, you're fighting over everything, you're struggling, you're trying to build. When you get older and you're past that, and you look back and go, I didn't do half of that. You know, it happened because I believe someone helps us.
One of the biggest helpers is Gary Harman. Going My Way, I'm Alan Williams. Driven by the belief that every life has equal value, the Lawson Family Foundation strives to make a positive difference for East Tennesseans. This week, we highlight Knoxville's Spark organization. Many know it as redesigning toys at Christmas for those children with disabilities. Spark also provides training and access to the latest technologies for adults to improve their quality of life. Spark and the Lawson Family Foundation, sowing seeds for the future.